Good morning. Today is day 95 of moving mountains beneath my feet. We're 117 days on our journey around the sun, and there's 248 days left in the year. And today, I waited till I got to the top of the mountain before I started recording. So I'm sitting up here at the top, just listening. Maybe you can hear. It's super quiet. It's really quiet, and I'm on the top of this mountain. And to my left, there's another town. There's like a bay. Water's like really, really calm. Water's really calm and wind is really calm today. Anyway, and then to the right of me, I'm looking at the community that I live in. It's just this sprawling, beautiful place on a cliffside and beachside on the coast, on the east coast of Puerto Rico. And my whole walk up here, I was thinking about what landed me here, how I landed here, and how things in my life has consistently always worked out, no matter what. Even in the moments where things were really hard and I was having struggles and feeling like I was in the bottom of a pit, things were still working out for me. Things were lining up for me. Things always work out. And it made me think of the feeling I had when I was feeling desperate about my children not being here after a couple of, failed attempts at trips, to coordinate trips out here. That there was some dates and times that just didn't line up and things fell through, and it was just so depressing at the time. And then fast forward to, just having the most epic trip ever with my children, being here, them having the most epic trip, but I had the most epic week with them. And even though I was at a high, on a high, there was parts of that week that were hard. There was things that were really hard for me to deal with. But in the midst of one of the best experiences of this year, right, having them here. And so it made me think back to also the feeling that I had right before they got here, knowing the next day they were going to get here. That anticipation feeling of them showing up, of things just lining up. That feeling that I had, that joy. I recorded some content that I didn't even post, but you can see my energy and my demeanor of how happy and joyful I was. And that got me thinking about how your thoughts and how you think and how you feel really do magnetize more of that. But the thing is that your brain doesn't know whether the experience is real or imagined. And I know you've probably heard that before, but if you really think about it, how is it that thoughts of, when you have anxious thoughts, when you're anxious about something, when you feel anxiety or worry about something, how is it that you have a physiological response in your body? How does your stomach start to turn? How do you start to feel bad? You start to feel like shit. Those things, those things aren't real. Those things are imagined. They don't exist, and they haven't existed, or they're thoughts of things that haven't happened yet. And yet you have a response. How? Well, because your brain doesn't know the difference. And so in coming into this awareness and thinking about this, it's how can we essentially trick, and I don't like that word, but you can trick your brain into feeling an experience before you actually feel it. And so how would you do that? You'd have to get deep into a visualization, visualize. For me, can I imagine how I felt the day before my girls got here, or the morning as I waited for them to show up, how happy I was, right? Can I lean into that feeling? Can I remember what that felt like? Can I remember what I was doing, where I was, what the sounds were? And can I go down that rabbit hole? Can I build momentum on that feeling? And I know it's not easy, and I know it's actually quite hard to do, especially when you're in the midst of the opposite kind of feeling, or in a feeling of lack or whatever, and you need something, and it's hard for you to feel abundant when you need. And it's we have to be able to, first of all, come to the awareness that your brain doesn't understand the difference between reality and what you're imagining. And with that knowledge, then you can kind of hack your way into being at a higher vibration, like basically attracting more of what you want, because your frequency is that. I know some people think that this stuff is woo-woo, but everything is frequency, right? If you look at everything's vibrating. And one of the coolest examples that I just recently saw, my beautiful partner, she shared a video with me of tuning forks, right? And I don't know if you know what a tuning fork is, but there was, it's like a piece of metal that's tuned to vibrate at a certain frequency. And so there was one that was like 440 hertz. And then there was another one that was another set of hertz. And so they used, I think it was like 900 hertz or whatever. And they used a little mallet to hit the tuning fork that was 900 and something hertz, right? And the one that was 440 hertz didn't budge. It didn't move. Right now, these tuning forks are not touching. They're held separately. Now, when they got another tuning fork that was 440 hertz and they hit that one, the other one that wasn't even touching it started to vibrate at the same vibration. And so it's like, when I saw that, I've never seen it demonstrated like that. Like, the things that you want are at a certain vibration. There's a certain frequency that those things that you desire and want are, like the love that you want, the relationship that you want, the money that you want, the life that you want, the job that you want, the place that you want to live. All of those things live at a certain frequency, and you need to vibrate at that frequency in order to have alignment. And so I just thought that was a really cool physical demonstration how this, often, spiritual woo-woo kind of concepts of vibration and frequency doesn't equate to like real life reality, quote unquote, how more practical thinkers think. But it really does, right? It's how the infinitely small works. And, our bodies are fully made of mostly water, right? A large part of water. And water is, there's waves in water, and you can see the crystal structures in water and the frequencies passing through water, and it has an effect, And so it makes sense if you think of all the big pieces and you go down to the micro, not the macro, the micro. If you go down, these things work on a very microscopic, tiny level, and they actually bubble out. So anyway, this is what I was thinking of today. I'm not even walking. I'm just sitting on the top of this hill, looking at this, realizing that this is like my office, my sanctuary, and this view that I have. People could pay millions of dollars to try to like have this view every day, and I get to have it for free, right? It's like there's people who are waking up today in a place that they hate, doing a job that they despise, living so unhappy, and having all this desire in their heart and mind, and never ever taking a step towards it. It's just like a dream in their mind of one day. And I'm really just glad and grateful that I followed my heart and my dream, and I decided to go where I wanted to be and live where I want to live and get to experience the things that I want to experience. And that no matter what is going on, no matter how hard things can be or get, that things are always working out, right? That was my episode yesterday. Things are always working out for me. They always work out for me. Like, they literally always work out. Even when it doesn't look like it. Even when I don't think that they are. And even when things are not as I want them to be, they're still working out for me. And so I'm trying to lean into that and trust into that and understand based on evidence, not on faith, based on the evidence of my life over the last few years and my whole life, how things always end up working out. I hope that is something that might resonate with you, and you can realize and feel some kind of comfort, regardless of what you're going through, that things are working out for you. And if you want to change or attract what you want, then there's ways to get there, but you have to match the frequency of what you want. And if you're not, that's why you're living in the experience that you're experiencing. And so with that, I'll leave you guys. I hope everyone has a beautiful, magical day today. Blessings.